we were doing the formal letter. We were doing formal letter, and in the formal letter, the different whatever is the format of the formal letter, that we need to follow. So formal letter, the format, 3 of the things we had already done yesterday. Alright, so if you all can speak about it. So what was the first one that comes in the format? That is the sender's address. So all of you are already aware of this. So first part is sender's address. And we all know how to write the sender's address. After that then comes the date. Alright, so we need to put the date. Next part is receiver's address. Alright, so here we have the receiver's address. In the receiver's address, certain things are to be remembered. And what are those things? First one is the designation of the person, followed by the name of the institution and the place. Alright? After that, next we come to point number 4. So point number 4 was subject. So till subject we did yesterday. Today we will start with the next part, that is point number 5, and this will be salutation. Okay. So in the format, as we proceed, we have already done till point number 4 yesterday. So today I will continue with the salutation. Alright. So number 1 was sender's address. Number 2, date. 3, receiver's address. 4, subject. 5, salutation. Alright. So I begin with the salutation. What is salutation? How is it to be written? So the person to whom we are writing a letter, we may know them, we may not know them. Alright. So the person to whom we are referring to, we have to give a respect to them, and we have to write dear sir, or in place of sir we can write madam if the other person is a female. Alright. In place of dear sir or dear madam, we can also write just the word sir or sirs. Okay. So this is the salutation, where we have to greet the person to whom we are writing the letter. Okay. So how do we greet them in a letter? When we have to begin writing a letter, the person to whom we are writing the letter, we have to greet them with the help of the salutation, which is written as dear sir, in case the person is a male. If the person is a lady, alright, then we have to mention dear madam. Or in place of madam, we can also write ma'am. M-A''A''N. So in place of D, what have we put? We have put the apostrophe mark. Okay. So this is how we greet the person to whom we are writing the letter. Dear sir, dear madam, sir, sirs, or ma'am. Okay. Why have I mentioned sirs over here? Because sometimes what happens when we are writing the letter to an institution, suppose it is a board of directors, okay, and we are not writing it to an individual person, be it any gentleman, be it any lady, we are not writing it to any individual person. We have a board of directors, alright, and in the board of directors, we also, sometimes we know that it is a bench sitting there, alright, and sometimes we may not know. Both the cases we have to keep, and under those circumstances, when we have board of directors sitting together, when we know that the decision is not to be taken just by one single human being, but it is to be taken by many people together. Alright, and we also are not writing a letter to just one single individual, we are writing the letter to many people together, which we are referring as board of directors. So we mention sirs. Alright. Places We can use, certain places we use dear sir, the word dear is written. At certain places we omit the word dear and we simply write sir or sirs or ma'am. Okay, the reason is that whenever we are mentioning dear sir, dear sirs, dear madam, or just ma'am or just sir, alright, when we refer in a polite manner to an individual and we even know that particular person, alright, then under the circumstances of knowing a person we can mention dear sir or dear sirs, dear madam, alright, like this. But suppose the person to whom we are writing a letter to, we are unaware of who that person is and it is a complete formal setup. Alright, the person to whom we are writing the letter is not even related to us in any manner. Fine. For example, when we have to write a letter to the editor of a newspaper, they do not know us, we are not knowing them, and they do not even have that much of time to cater to the billions of population. Alright, and everybody is writing a letter to them. Since they are not related to any person, okay, so we just mention them as sir or sirs. In case for formal institutions where we are referring to the principal or when we are referring to any person to whom we are knowing, about whom we are knowing, or maybe we want that person to know us, accordingly we write dear. This term dear can be used. Most often we are using dear sir because obviously we need to give a polite greeting to everyone, alright. So dear sir or dear madam. Fine. In case you do not know that the person is a gentleman or a lady, then what do we do? Okay, because there are certain cases where we do not know that who that person may be. Suppose I have told you write a letter to the editor of a newspaper. Do you know whether the editor is a gentleman or a lady? If you know, it's fine, then we can mention dear sir or dear madam. Suppose we are unaware of it. You keep on finding the net, keep searching the net, we do not know, we do not get the name of the person to whom we are writing the letter to. Alright, and we are not getting the information from any source that particular editor to whom we are writing the letter, that person is a lady or a gentleman. We do not know about it. We are completely 100% unaware of that person. Under such circumstances, when we have a thought in our mind that who that person can be, alright, or maybe let us say we have to write it to the manager of LG company, or it can be any of the companies, alright. So, if the manager of any particular institution we are writing, and when we are not knowing about them, whether that manager is a gentleman or a lady, under such circumstances, when we write a letter, then in the salutation part, we have to mention both the things, that is sir, slash mark, and ma'am or madam. Alright, when we do not know that who the other person is, then what do? We simply write sir, we also put a slash mark and we write ma'am or madam. The reason for writing both the things are that we do not know the person, that exactly who that person is, whether the person is a gentleman or a lady. Got it? This is clear now, the salutation part. As soon as we start writing a letter, we need to greet the person. Alright? And in place of greetings, what do we do? We are not writing here good morning, good afternoon and all those things. We simply write dear sir because we have to greet them, or dear madam. Alright? And the easiest way is we mention dear sir or dear madam. Okay? If we do not know, then sir, put a slash mark and write madam. So this is what the salutation is all about. After this, we move over to point number 6. Point number 6 is body of the letter. This is the most important part of the letter. If you write the body of the letter, then from the examination point of view, then only the whole letter, like you will be getting marks for the whole letter. If you omit this body of the letter and you just write the format straight away it will be a cross mark, you will not get any marks. Alright, so to obtain marks in a letter will be of 5 marks according to the latest CBSE. So if we are writing the body, then you get the marks. If you are not writing the body and thinking that obviously I will get marks for the format, you will not get any marks for the format. So whenever we are writing a letter, make sure you are writing the format as well as in the format when the body is to be written, the content of the letter, this is surely to be written in a letter. Don't just leave it halfway. Alright, now body of the letter again consists of 3 different parts. This body, also known as content of the letter, means what should we write, what all things are necessary, what all are the requirements of writing the body. Alright, so in the body, in the content, what we have to write. Many a times like students have this question in their mind that what to write, we do not know what to write. So this body of the letter, the way I will be telling you now, alright, it will be very clear that how the body of the letter will be written. What should be our content, what should I write? As a student, what should I write in the content, in the body? Okay, so what are the things that we should write in the content? You have to follow the 3 things. These are parts of the content. Alright, what are these 3 different things that we have to know? First one is introduction. Number 1 is introduction. After this, we have the second part. In number 2, we write the message. And in number 3, we have the conclusion. You can also refer to it as A, B, C. Fine? We can also refer to it as A, B or C. Now when we are writing the introduction, I have mentioned it as A. When I wrote message, I have also written it as B. And when I wrote conclusion, I mentioned it as C. So what is this ABC rule of writing the body of the letter? So body of the letter, that means what do you have to follow? You have to follow the ABC rule. Alright? It's all one and the same, only the words differ. So accordingly, we just give it that the body or the content that we have to write follows the ABC rule. Now what is this ABC rule? Number 1, as I told you, number 1 is introduction. Alright? Now in the introduction, what are we going to write about? What is my letter about? Okay? What is my letter about? So about starts with the letter A. Alright? That is why we have mentioned it here as A. A stands for about. That means in the introduction, you have to write about the topic. We all get questions. So you have to read the question of the letter. That what is the demand of the question? What do we have to write in the letter? So what are we going to write in the letter? That what are we writing about? What is my letter related to? Alright, so that topic is to be mentioned in the first part, that is introduction. You have to introduce. You have to write about, and do remember it should not be more than 1, maximum 2 sentences. Alright, it should not take more than 2 sentences. In 2 sentences, you must clearly state the matter. That means what are you writing about in the introduction. So we mention it as A, about. Number B is the body of the letter. We do mention it as body only. Now what are we going to do in the body of the letter? Alright, it is surely the whole thing is the body itself, but again body is over here. Now in the body, what are we going to write? Here we are going to follow second number, that is message. Alright, here we will write second part, that is message, or the exact body that we have to mention. This is the most important part of writing a letter. We may sometimes miss out with introduction, we may miss out with conclusion, but most of the things that we are mentioning, the most important part of the letter is the second one, that is message. In the message, now what do we need to write? Here we have to give the reason of writing the letter. And minimum 3 points must be given by you to mention that what is the message of my letter. Alright, as we will keep on solving the questions, we will understand it according to the example that what message do we have to write. What is the information that we have to write? What is the reason that we have to give? Alright, apart from this, there are certain letters, formal letters, where we need to mention the objective of the letter. Alright, and we do have to mention the pros and the cons. What are the good points? What are the bad points? Alright, what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? So all these things, the qualities, maybe only positive qualities are only asked in the letter. Alright, maybe only all the negative effects have been asked in the letter. So whatever is the effect of the letter, the pros and the cons, advantages and disadvantages, all those things are to be mentioned in the message. That means everything related to the letter, positivities or the negative things, or maybe the cause, the effect, the reason, everything is to be mentioned in the message. And that is why it is the most important part of the body of the letter, which we mention as body itself. Alright, so this is number 2, message, which we have mentioned it as the body, because this is the main body of the letter, of the content of the letter. Fine. Next is number 3, conclusion. Now in conclusion, what do we have to write? In the conclusion, you can give your suggestions. So C also stands for the same word, conclusion. Alright, C also stands for the word conclusion. So in conclusion, we have to give our suggestions. Sometimes there are negative effects of many things. So what are the suggestions we can give? What are the advices that we can give? Isn't it? So we have to mention, and do remember that whatever we are mentioning, alright, it should not be that only we mention it and leave it, that the government has to take certain steps. If you just write it in the general form, we do not know who is the government. We do not know what steps the government will take. You have only written the government should take certain steps. Now what are those steps which the government should take? If there are certain letters where we have to say that the action must be taken immediately. So what is that action that must be taken immediately? Alright, all these things, these points are to be mentioned in the conclusion. Don't just leave it in between that the government has to take action. Also do mention at least 1 or 2 actions taken by the government. Do mention it there that this should be done by the government. The government must create certain programs where all the human beings can come together, join for that particular program and let that program become successful. This is a generalization that I am doing. Alright, so that is what you have to mention in the conclusion. You do have to write the suggestion, and if the government is taking step, then don't simply just write that the government has to take this particular step. You have to mention that what exactly that step should be, and it should be highlighted. Alright, in the formal letters they are highlighted. So just a quick revision now. Till point 6, there are a few more points left here. Number 1, in the format of the letter, what do we write? Sender's address. Second, date. Third, receiver's address, followed by subject, then salutation, and number 6 is body. Alright, now we move over to the next part. So number 6 also we have done, and that is body. Alright, so till body we have learnt it. Now we move over to the next point from here. So we move over to point number 7. In the format of the letter, now we move to point number 7. So what will be point number 7? This is known as subscription. Point number 7 is subscription. In subscription, you have to write yours, faithfully. In place of faithfully, you can also write yours sincerely. Alright? Yours obediently. In case you are a student writing a letter to a teacher. So yours obediently. Alright? These are the few general terms which we use in the subscription. Now here, certain things are to be remembered. Alright? Few of the things which you need to remember when we are writing the subscription. Though it may sound very easy. It is easy in fact, but certain points are to be kept in the mind. What are those? Whenever we are writing the word your, we don't write your, we write yours. Alright? And yours is written as Y-O-U-R-S. You will not write your. This will become incorrect. You cannot write Y-O-U-R with apostrophe S. Putting an apostrophe will again make this incorrect. Alright. Also see that the first letter which you are writing should be a capital letter. It should not be small. Many times you know that I have to write, so we write yours. Even if you have written it correctly, the first letter, because of the first letter, this can become wrong. So what do we have to do? We have to write this as capital Y. So whenever we are writing, it should be Y-O-U-R-S. Alright, remember S. Remember the letter Y is a capital letter. Alright, so this is how we write yours. If you write your and then you write this word faithfully, the subscription will be wrong. If you write your sincerely, your obediently, it will become wrong. Alright, now where in certain places you can use your, but where do we use your? That I am showing to you. If the word ends in L-Y, we mention yours. Okay, so do remember yours without any punctuation mark, and we are writing the word faithfully, ending with the word with the letters L-Y. Okay, then yours sincerely. Again over here S is written, and this side the second word ends up with L-Y. Next we have obediently. So yours obediently. Do write S, do mention L-Y. Now you may say that in certain places we have seen that it is your also. Your is also written. So when do we write your? Okay, we write your, but not with faithfully, sincerely, obediently. You can write your faithful employee. Are we using any L-Y word here? No. And there is one more word which we have added here, referring to a noun. Alright. So when we are mentioning the noun word here, with the noun word, then we can write your. This will not be an adverb. This will then become an adjective. Okay. Your faithful employee. Let us come to this part, obediently. You may write your obedient student. Okay. So this is how we write the subscription. Whenever we are writing the subscription, it can be written in two ways. First one is yours, Y-O-U-R-S, followed by the adverb, faithfully, L-Y. Yours sincerely, yours obediently. Okay? If we are writing the word your, then we cannot write your faithfully, your sincerely, your obediently. Then we have to write your faithful employee, your obedient student. Understood? So when and how we have to use the subscription. Fine. After this, the next part, that is point number 8. Now we come over to the next point, point number 8. Here we have to mention after subscription, then we have to write
name.
we have to put the signature first, followed by the name. Alright, signature and name. This signature and name, just don't put any kind of signature in any order and say that I have signed it. Okay, and then you are writing your name. Let us say Ravi. Alright, but is this looking anywhere like Ravi? Nowhere it is looking like Ravi. What do? We put the signature. Alright, signature can be of any form. It's up to you how you are putting your signature. That is your identity. But at the same time, as a student, when we are writing it for the school, when we are writing a letter for the examination purpose, when we are doing the work in our school notebooks, alright, then see that the signature also, if it is clearly written, it looks nice, it is legible, we can read what is written. So something which is legible, which we can read, and it also enhances the beauty of like the whole passage that you have written. Alright, so suppose it is Ravi. So you can write in running hand Ravi. This also can be a part of signature. Alright, as a running letter you can write Ravi. Okay, suppose it is Ravi Sinha. So the whole signature has come over here, Ravi Sinha. Or maybe Ravi Sinha is not writing Ravi Sinha, he is just writing R Sinha. Alright, but who is this R Sinha? He is Ravi Sinha. So here the name can be written. This you can write in block letters also. So it becomes clear that what are we writing. So point number 8, signature. Point number 9, name. So signature is also done and the name is also written. Alright. Now after this, point number 10, though not necessary, but it is an optional. Designation. This is the designation of the person who is writing the letter. Alright. This is also optional. This point is optional. If you have a designation, suppose you are the secretary, so you can write after Ravi Sinha, you can write secretary, let us say of branch 2, so you can write branch 2. Alright, so this is the designation that we mentioned. Suppose you do not have any designation, as students what designation can be given? Until and unless the question comes that you are so and so, and there is no, if the designation is mentioned that you are the secretary of this particular institution, then in the designation after writing your name you can write secretary or chairman or manager. Alright, if you are writing it to the Prime Minister or maybe to the President, to any government servant, alright, or even to the editor of a newspaper, you can simply mention here a concerned citizen. A concerned citizen. In case you are writing a letter to the editor of a newspaper where you are highlighting about any needs of the society. Alright, then we can mention a concerned citizen. This I have mentioned as optional. If there is no designation mentioned, you are not even writing it to the editor of a newspaper. You are writing, let me say, any business letter where you have to give a complaint to the secretary of or maybe to the manager of any particular company that your product is damaged. Alright, then under those circumstances, no need to write a concerned citizen, because that is your own loss. Alright, that product that you are already owning in your home, you are possessing, that particular product does not belong to the society. You are not going to give the washing machine to the society that please all of every one of you come and wash your clothes. That cannot be done. Your own possessions, where you all have your own possessions, we should not write a concerned citizen. Here the designation will not work. Alright, that is why it is referred as optional. Now just a quick revision of the format of the letter. Number 1, sender's address. Number 2, date. 3, receiver's address. 4, subject. 5, salutation. 6, body. 7, subscription. 8, signature. 9, name. Then this is an optional part, designation of the person who is writing the letter. So this is the complete format of letter writing. Format of a